Okay, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Mixon back once again. Yeah, so today we're going to be going through a Detroit style type beat, a BabyTron type beat, if you will. Yeah, a lot of cool vibes in this one. Just wanted to say thank you to everybody that's already joining in. Make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. Let me know what beats you guys want to see in the upcoming weeks and all that fun stuff. And also, real quick, um, we did the voting. We do voting every Thursday on my Instagram. That's like 6 a.m. Pacific time to 6 a.m. Friday morning. And then then the voting's announced on my story, and then we go from there. I only do the voting intake on Instagram, so make sure you're following me and make sure you're putting in your things you want to see. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into this thing. So the first thing I'm gonna do, guys, is I'm going to introduce the beat. I'm going to play it back for you if you don't remember what this beat is. This is a Detroit style beat, a BabyTron type beat, and I'm going to be showing you how to make a BabyTron type beat today. All right, let's get into this thing. This is what the beat sounds like. Hey, hey, hey. Okay, yeah, so that's what the beat sounds like. First thing that I want to get into with this, it's talk about like some VSTs that you might want to use. So when making Detroit type beats, like some different sound selection, right? The first thing you want to kind of get into is probably a piano, right? So you want to start off with like a piano sound that you can use the lower bass notes with, and then a top melody. One that you can make a top melody with that's a little bit higher pitch. Then we got some strings, different sounding strings that are a little bit more plucky, so that they're like a little bit more like a short attack, short decay, so that you can kind of like make them like a little bit more plucky sounding. And then of course the classic Detroit bass. So you gotta get all those are all core elements to me, and like 42 Dugg, Baby Tron, all that kind of stuff. With the samples, you want to make sure you get a little laser sound in there because that's all in all of BabyTron's beats like to a certain level. They're all like at least one point, like probably like an accent of after like a crazy bar that he said. Um, just like basic sound selection, you kind of want to have like your all your different like instruments in order before you're really starting to get going after this. And the first thing that I usually do when I'm doing one of these beats don't really take a whole lot of time to make because the melodies are repetitive and simple. Because really, what you're like letting them do is just talk crazy. That's the main thing with one of these beats. So the first thing that I started off with is this melody that I got here. Right, and it just repeats for the second bar. Um, what you want to do with this, it's like you kind of want to like keep it with that same melody. You want to keep it this kind of same rhythm, I guess. And so it's just playing off of each little phrase here. And then like the notes aren't they're all in A minor, so it's not like particularly anything that's that insane. But I started with these notes, so it's so 1, 5, 6, 5. And the 5 to the 6 creates actually a lot of tension because you can hear that dissonance in it. And then this with the release from 5 to 1. That's basically the like reason I did that. It just creates a lot of tension throughout the beat with the melody. Over the top, I just layered it with this piano at a higher pitch. So like very, very repetitive, you know, I just like the main thing that it's doing with the melody is like a triplet, and then like doing the top line and the bass line as the final repetitive to end the phrase. So it's like a little bit different at the end, but also sort of the same. Keeping that repetition is like what lets the artist flow a little bit better with these kind of beats. Um, then you want to add in some strings to like accent certain parts. So over the top, right now this is what we got. Right, so you get like a nice little accent over the top, so it's like makes it sound like less repetitive, and it's playing off of the melody, hitting similar notes, just so we can keep it in like key, and then we add this little plucky violin, or like strings, if you will. And they're just triads over the bass notes that we made originally. So it's the 1, 5, 6, 5. You can see that there. Um, and one thing, it's like really you can just keep these things like really, really simple with these kind of beats. Um, just because like again, the main thing is gonna come out of your drums. And the other thing is like the artist is gonna have a lot more to do with this song being a banger or not. The beat can obviously be hard hitting and stuff like that, but like this is really the meat of where you're gonna get uh the vocals are just gonna be the main thing that you get out of the beats. Like especially with BabyTron, he's known for saying the most wild stuff in every single one of his songs. So it's like you kind of like want to give enough room for that, but also like make the beat interesting enough for them to like want to rap on it, you know. So with that in mind, keeping this intact, like the main thing you just want to like do is like how does it not get so repetitive? It's just dropping stuff out at different times. So it's like I took out all of the bass notes here and then put in the just the string as the verse continued, and then just adding pieces, taking pieces out, just so that the artist can kind of like get a feel for everything in the song. I'll talk about the bass too because this is a key component, like what I was saying with the sound selection. So this is let's just play this. So it just follows that like those bass notes that I put in place with the piano, right? So and with that, you kind of like get like a nice interaction, I feel like. So everything sounds like it's cohesive, even though it's like all a lot of the same notes. It sounds a little bit more cohesive because each thing is like at a different like pitch. Um, let's see now. Yeah, let's talk about a little bit of the sound design. Um, so this Omnisphere patch, if it loads, there we go, is from my Omnisphere Pack 2. So West Coast bass. And basically the way you kind of like do this, I just made it off of a bright saw, put like a fat filter on it. So just to play it out. So so without the filter, it just sounds like a regular thing, right? There you go. And then with the fat bass, it's just I think it's just like a power bandpass or something like that. Let's see, where is that? I don't remember what preset I started with. It's such a long time ago when I made this. I think it's just a low pass filter. Oh, I think it's this Richard Moogie. Yeah, I started out with the Richard Moogie because it's like a Moog bass. Yep. Okay, hold on. Just gonna open up this. Bring it back. Yeah, so it's just that Moog bass. It added the resonance, the key that it was in, and the envelope for how long I wanted it to last. So, and then you just edit the attack all the way down, put the decay slightly up, sustain all the way up, and just a little bit of release because you want a little bit of a tail, but not like a whole lot. And with the effects of it, you get the slammer on it just to saturate it and to like put the limiter on it to make it loud, the EQ to take off any of the top end, and all of that. So that's pretty much what I did with this. Yeah, it's like a little bit more EQ and a little bit more compression on it. But it's really just one sound and starts with the saw. And then you put this on it. Yeah, so like putting that filter in is a big piece. So like making your own filter just to make it sound more like a bass is like pretty sick. But yeah, that's basically how you make that's a little secret sauce for you, how to make your own like West Coast bass. Uh, yeah, if you want to like learn a little bit more about that, just type down in the comments, hey, teach me about how to make this again. Can you do like a more dedicated video? I'm happy to do that. Just want to do a quick video on that though, real quick. Um, yeah, so with all of that in mind, we've got like our piano, we've got the core elements of our melody in place, and all together we already played that out. So like, let's go into the drums because this is like really like the core of what makes this a BabyTron beat, despite the Detroit elements and like the bass obviously is a big part in that. So you want to kind of like have a kick, right? That like for me, this kick kind of reminds me of like a Yin Yang Twins kind of thing, like a na 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 na, like one of those like older like '90s hip hop kind of thing, like that. Just like all kinds of crunk stuff. I think that's like a big element with that, like with the kicks, like the when you like think about like their flow, like the Yin Yang Twins flow, it's like how you kind of like want to like design the drums. So it's like it follows the kick right here, like the kick follows the bass pattern, the dun dun dun. But I just added just this little piece right here, so it goes. But it like really follows the pattern of the bass notes because that's what I started with, and that really just made the structure of this whole song. If you can believe that, that rhythm is like a big piece. So with the clap too, I did this simple, nothing too crazy with it. The hi-hats. So the main thing I did with the hi-hats, this is kind of like a little bit of a secret sauce thing too. So one way you can like kind of feel that it's like these hi-hats are a little bit bouncier in a different way. So what I did is I panned them to the left and to the right. You can do this through your control. If you go over to control at the bottom of your piano roll, you can see that there's the velocity, which I normally would edit, but I didn't do that for this one because I needed it to do this simple trick. So like I just had it panned to the left and the right and then just however much, but this is like the same bouncy velocity I have, but it's just switching for each one. So it's switching to the left and to the right each time. So that's kind of like a neat thing. So if you're like trying to get like a bouncier hi-hat, it's a little tip for you. This is like a good way to do this if you don't want to like mess with the velocity, but you want it to like kind of like be ping-pongy in the ears. This is a good way to do this. So it's like you just edit the control, go to note pan, and then you just draw in your own pattern. So this is to the right, and this is to the left at the top. And you can see it in the mixer how it's rotating to the left and to the right. And then this hi-hat that I put over the top, like these are just oh, these are open hats. Okay, lying to me. Yeah, these open hats just they like create like a different kind of breath over the top. So like So it just kind of creates an extra bounce to that on top, and then we got this. A little more Percs. And so with the lasers, you kind of like you want to make like a triplet sound, just so like with like a lot of like BabyTron type beats. That's just something he kind of has in there. The triplet like kind of like puts an accent over any of the bars at the end. So that's like one thing you want to do with the Percs. We got like a little snare here to like play off the offbeat, and then a crash at the beginning. So I would say like that's pretty much the whole drums too with that beat. Um, I'll say this, like this is not like really one of the most complicated beats to make. Detroit beats in general are not that complicated, but I'll say like the core things is like maybe just starting with a 1 5 6 5, uh, you know, bass note progression, and then like kind of going from there. I feel like that's a good like starting bass block point, and then like keeping that bounciness of that rhythm that I showed. If you go back to here, the dun 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 dun, like that. That to me is like the best way to kind of get that going. But yeah, I'd say also the secret sauce is really just that those panny hi-hats. That's a really good way to get like bounce out of your hi-hats. It's not every like it's not the same thing every time, but like when you're going in and you're like seeing these hi-hats, it's like, oh, like this is just a good way to get good bounce out of them. So you really want to like emphasize going into the control panel, hitting pan, and then it's just bouncing all over the place, right? So like when you have that, it just creates a different element. So it's like if I was to like do this with it, right? Center it all. Sounds very boring, you know? If I put it back, it's kind of like a cool shaker. So it's like okay, it's not staying in the same place. I really like the way this sounds. It makes it sound like it's got like more separation and like more of a bounce, more of a groove to it than it used to have. I think that's like kind of like the main thing with all of these hi-hats doing that. It's a sick way to kind of do it. And then the other big thing that we talked about today was just doing like a making your own bass from Omnisphere. Um, yeah, so like you just want to like use fat filter on that to make the bass work and then everything like that. I'll play the beat out one more time. But yeah, so that's the beat. Let me talk about the song structure. So because we're at 98, I kind of basically put this into halftime. I wanted this to still be fast. So like each one of these is hitting at like with the clap. This one it's hitting on like every downbeat instead of like here on the white that it would normally hit. It's hitting on the red. Um, I think that's like you like basically pick up the pace, and it's like so technically this is like either 98 or like 186, I think. 196. Yeah, so like 196 or 98 BPM. You're just making it move so fast because it's like in double time, half time, whatever you want to say. But I think it's a really cool way to kind of get this thing going. And yeah, so like basically that all that means really is like, okay, we got 8 bars here for the intro, we got 16 here, another 16 here for the verse, and another 16 here, and an 8 to close it out. Um, that's just the thing with this beat. Yeah, and like with mixing, most of these were already pre-mixed beforehand, minus the clav. I needed to like, so it's like basically the open hat. I needed to get rid of some of those sounds. Hold on. with this, I needed to edit like the lower frequencies out because it was like with the bounce, it was kind of running into some issues. Let's see, anything else? No, because like everything else was mixed. Like the bass, I mixed myself in Omnisphere. Not really any mixing tips today, guys. So it's just really the bounciness of it. Song structure is pretty much the same. Just I took instead of having 24 bars for the verse, I had 16, just because I wanted this to not be too long. Still at 2.5 minutes. Still keeping it under that 3 minute mark. Uh, yeah, that's all I got. I think. Kind of a short little video today comparison to the other ones. Just wasn't a whole like there's not like a whole lot that goes into these kind of beats sometimes. More times than not, it's about like just kind of keeping the song structure together. It's like okay, let me follow my bass notes, let me stick to that. Let me like make sure it's got the elements. Does it have a piano? Does it have a violin? Does it have a top melody for the piano? Does it have that, West Coast Detroit style bass? Those are the main things that you kind of want to like take a peek at when you're working with this stuff. Um, and then just kind of being able to get the same groove all together. That's really what you want out of these. But yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in. Make sure to leave a like, a comment, and subscribe down below if you really enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys want to see next time. Make sure you're always voting on my Instagram story for which beat you want to see. With all of that, guys, just want to say thank you for tuning in again, and peace out, peace out. God bless.